So when it came to Unlimited Love and all of the live performances that we were going to see with the promotion of the album, one thing that us Frusciante fans did not expect at all was to see his live amp rig change, but that is exactly what has happened. Now, if you haven't seen the video I made discussing the amps John used in the studio, I'll throw a card up for that. Give it a watch after you're done watching this video. Now, this live rig has been the same for every single performance we've seen from the Red Hot Chili Peppers so far. That includes Howard Stern, both Fallon and Kimmel performances, as well as the show they did at the Fonda Theater. This amp rig for John has not changed. And the amp rig is the Marshall Major, that 200 watt Marshall that we're so used to him seeing, but instead of a Marshall Jubilee, John Frusciante is now using a Marshall JMP 2203. This amp is the predecessor to the JCM 800, so don't get those two confused. This one is from the mid to late 70s. Now, one thing that appears to not have changed with John's amp rig is that the cabs are 1960s, depending on which performance you're either seeing full stacks or half stacks, and it's pretty safe to assume at least that the speakers are still Celestion G1275s. Until we get any further information, that is what I'm going to be going with as the speakers that he is still continuing to use after all of these years. One last thing here about the cabinets and speakers is that if you look at all of these performances, only the B cabinets are mic'd. When the amps are in a half stack combination, you have only the B cabinets present. In the full stack combination at the Fonda Theater, only the B cabinets were mic'd, and this is very on brand for John, as we know he loves those B cabinets, and if you're only looking for one cabinet to maybe get for a John Frusciante inspired rig, definitely go with a B cabinet over an A cabinet. And now, of course, this kind of brings us on to the main topic for today's video, and it is, why did John Frusciante switch out the Marshall Jubilee for a JMP 2203? And I've done some digging online to see kind of what the buzz is and what people are discussing and saying online and comments and in different threads. And I've seen a lot of people saying, well, maybe this is a substitute for a Jubilee that has broken down on him, and he just needed to replace it for all these shows that are kind of occurring around the same time frame. And I honestly don't think that is true at all. This is based on a number of reasons. Now, number one being is that during rehearsals, we know John Frusciante was messing around with a reissue Marshall Jubilee. And there actually was a Marshall Jubilee present at the Fonda Theater show as a backup for the JMP. And we know this Jubilee was a backup for the JMP because John had a second Marshall Major also in the rack as a backup for the Major if the Major went down. So this Jubilee had to only be used as a backup for the JMP. And if John Frusciante wanted to use a Marshall Jubilee, why wouldn't he have just used the reissue one that was in the rack as a backup for the JMP or the one he had for rehearsals? The reissue ones are not hard to find, and if it broke down, he could easily replace it if he wanted to. So I think that this JMP choice is deliberate and him maybe experimenting with a new amplifier sound for the new upcoming tour. Now, of course, this kind of contradicts what he used in the studio, but the JMP 2203s are fantastic sounding amps. They aren't identical, of course, to the Jubilee, but in combination with that Major, clearly his tone was phenomenal in all the shows that we've seen so far. He's getting a great sound with those two amplifiers, and I do genuinely think they're working brilliantly together. I definitely don't think we've seen a change in tone for the negative, that's for sure. Now, of course, time will only tell if this is actually going to be the rig that sticks with John for the Unlimited Love tour. The Chili Peppers are actually playing the New Orleans Jazz Festival at the end of this month of April, so if the amp setup stays the same, I think at that point it's going to be safe to say that's going to be the rig he sticks with for the Unlimited Love tour, the full actual world tour, but we're going to have to wait and see. As of right now, I think this is what he is going to stick with anyway. It kind of doesn't make sense to use this rig and then change back. Unless he's not really happy with it, I don't know, but to me it just wouldn't make sense to sub in a JMP 2203 when he clearly has a Marshall Jubilee on the ready and then go back. I just don't think John would do that. I think this decision was more deliberate and intentional for the use of this new amplifier. Now, please, you guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on John's tone with these two amplifiers. If you think it's better, worse, just different, let me know. I want to hear from you guys. And if you think this is going to be the final rig for the upcoming tour, or if you think John is going to go back to a Jubilee. I don't know, but let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next one.